Welcome to my channel. I'm Larry Olson, and I'm an expert in the field of performance-driven neurology, which is simply a blending of cognitive psychology and neuroscience. And together it allows us the understanding of how our thinking impacts our behavior, whether it's good for us or not. You know, this is part two of a two-part on how to improve performance drastically relative to how we think, and again, the impact that it has on what we end up receiving in our lives. So there are three elements here that I want to talk about. And one of them is, first off, that we need to absolutely exercise. Now, it seems interesting to me that people have to find time to exercise, that they turn it into a project, that it's got to be so much time, it has to do so many things. And I mean, we can really complicate it to the point where many people don't exercise at all. They've simply looked at it as too overwhelming, too difficult, takes too much time. And needless to say, I'm not talking to the 5% who are advocates of exercise. But just getting up and wandering around, walking outside, getting a little of that, wonderful sun and what it does for the insights and the ability to refresh our own perspective on our life and what we're achieving. So any kind of exercise you get is better than no exercise at all. And I have found myself, my exercise is different now than when I was younger. And I'll do 2-3 mile walks. And during that walk, I'll keep it vigorous. I'll sustain a good cardiovascular flow and know that I'm rinsing and I'm cleaning the brain. I'm actually washing it, because it just loves to have all those red blood cells pumping through it. And it creates this feeling sometimes of euphoria, which is the dopamine. Now, this is another thing that's really important. Probably one of the greatest drugs that we can put into our system that does no harm. And it's a reinforcement. And it's really kind of interesting, because if the brain gets reinforcements for something it does, it alerts it that this is important. And when it knows it's important, it wants to repeat it. And this is why I want you to be so discerning about how you talk to yourself, because you're going to repeat it. So the second thing I want to share with you that's so important for brain health and maximizing performance is a word that everybody's heard before, but everybody has a different take on it. And 9 out of 10, they find it to be negative. And it's diet. It seems to be the end all for whatever we're challenged with, and when most of us hear it, we think it's because we put on too much weight, or we're feeling slovenly and we just don't have the energy we used to have. And so we need to improve our diet. Well, diet is simply the fuel that you provide to your body. And what we're talking about is the brain. And the foods that we provide to the brain have got to be foods that energize it, not clog it up. And I wake up in the morning, I have myself a smoothie. And that particular smoothie I have has all kinds of wonderful things in it, not only just from a protein, but it also has blueberries. Oh my God, anti-toxins, our body just goes, give me some more blueberries. And so blueberries are great. Another thing I have is I have peanut butter. It gives me a little more of that protein. The other element that I bring into it is leafy vegetables, green. I mean, we've all heard about fruits and vegetables, but I want you to think about them differently. I want you to think about them as more fuel and high octane fuel for what we pay attention to and what we bring with us moment by moment, and that happens to be our brain. Probably the most important element in our life is how we think and the impact it has on performance, so let's keep it as sharp as we possibly can. And then I put in almond milk and I add all kinds of wonderful things. And I drink that every single morning. And it takes me about 4 or 5 hours before I'm hungry again. But I know one thing. I know I've done something good for myself to start out the day. And because I've done something good for myself to start out the day, I start ingesting more with what's good for me. and less of what tastes good to me. And you know, when your brain starts to have more that is good for it, it starts to like the taste. And that, I think, is the biggest detriment that most of us have to high quality food, is it's not full of salt and it's not full of sugar. And boy, do our taste buds like salt and sugar. So it's just kind of a rethinking and a reimagining. You know, we've heard about fake news. We can watch television. We can watch an hour of the news and 59 minutes of it will be negative. You know, it's alerting us to what to watch out for, and heaven forbid should that happen to us. And you know that 59 minutes in that hour of what's wrong with the world is less than 5% of what actually is going on in the world. But if I watch it for 99% of the moment that I have the opportunity to ingest information, I start to believe it's true, and as soon as I start to believe it's true, I start to see it everywhere. Oh, for heaven's sakes, and how does it make me feel? I don't know about you, but it's kind of depressing. It's kind of a shame. And I would suggest, for those of you who don't feel you can do anything about it, is what are you doing to make a better world for the people that you're around? What kind of information are you providing them? So I encourage you to read. I encourage you to get over what most people say is, well, I've never been a good reader. I can stare at a sentence for an hour. Well, that's because you're picking information that you're not interested in. Have you ever noticed how focused you are when you're interested? Are you interested in accomplishing more in your life? Then provide your brain with some new ideas and new information outside of what you already know. And if you're not into reading, you know, get some audio tapes or watch some TED Talks, or gather information that you choose, because there's a lot of titles out there. And what's so cool is we have the ability to make a choice. And I'm asking you to take a look at these brain hacks for high performance. And it's simply a choice, isn't it? And here's what I would guarantee. Once you make the choice, you'll find the information, you'll get the reinforcement to want to make the same choice again. So I want to thank you for the moments of your time that you've taken to invest in what I'm sharing with you. And please, if you like it, let us know. Really love you to join the community and subscribe. And if you have any comments or suggestions as to what you'd like me to talk a little more about, so it can help you unravel maybe some of the places that you're stuck, I'd love that opportunity. And you know, it's almost selfish that I share this information, because the things that I share with you, I share with myself, and I end up helping myself. And I like feeling better. How about yourself?